talk show, Uplifting Communities with John and Miss Jay.
Good afternoon.
We have a really, all right, we have a really good guest for you guys. And hopefully that you guys can get something out of this talk show. This is very important. This is a very important subject that we're going to talk about. But before we get started, I would like to ask Ms. J if she wouldn't mind taking the pleasure on bringing our special guest on.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, we have young author Jalynn Walters. I'm going to give her a new name, and her mama Danielle. She's an author of a children's book dealing with self-identity, learning to accept oneself as they are, the color of their skin, texture of the hair, whatever that is, learning to love and appreciate who they are as individuals. And the reason why I thought it was important to have this topic is because on Facebook, even today, we see a lot of body shaming, color shaming, color shade shaming, hair texture shaming. And a lot of it's directed at young people as if, these kids deserve this kind of attack. And so I just want to talk about that today and how we can change that. Not just talk about it because we know it's been happening for decades, but we want to talk about too what we can do as adults to change that. But before we get started, Jalynn, say hi to everybody, sweetie.
Hello. Hello.
So tell us a little bit about your book. What does your book mean to you?
My book, for me, is to encourage girls to love themselves from head to toe.
Okay. So what made you think that you needed a book to encourage girls to love themselves from head to toe? What happened to you that made you think there was time for a change?
I was looking for my cancer study.
And when you were bullied at school?
Yes.
Yeah, wow. That had to be difficult. So you could have done a lot of different things, but you chose to sit down with your mom and create a great story about encouragement. And for a young person, you're just 10 years old, I believe I'm correct, but you're just a baby. So for you to use I can say at times it had to be painful, take your pain and make it into something positive. What would you say to other little girls that are being bullied because of how they look or how they dress? What would you say to those little girls?
Never believe what they say and make sure you tell them about it.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
That's right.
Absolutely. And Danielle, as the mom, I know that her experience is your experience. So kind of articulate actually how did you go about solving this, and when she came to you about the bullying, because parents need to understand even the person that has the kid that's bullying, the effect that has on a child. So can you please break that down for us?
So Jalynn is 7 years old, and this happened a couple years ago. So the way that it came about was Jalynn asked for her skin to be lighter, and she wanted her hair long and straight. So that, in my eyes, I couldn't believe that she didn't love who God created as God created her. So it made me dig a little bit deeper to see where she was developed from, or this idea that she wanted her skin lighter. And it came from the comments of other kids, saying that she was a black girl or chocolate girl, and she internalized that. That's a very young thing to redirect those thoughts. One time with the bullying, she also watched a lot of Disney shows, of the Disney Channel, and on there, her favorite characters didn't resemble her physical appearance. So that also took the part of her not accepting who she was physically. So I just had to jump in and just teach my baby to love how God created her.
Wow. Now, as a parent, did you go up to the school regarding the bullying, or how did you handle it? Because I think you're also an educator. For those who don't know, she's a teacher. So as you know, how did you address that? Because you have to address directly where it's coming from. And I think a lot of parents don't know how to do it because they don't want, one, they don't want to make it worse for their children. However, some just really don't know what to do or how they should do it.
Right. And that basically was the situation that we were having. There's been times where a child or an adult will say to me, "Oh, she's a black girl," and I'll say, "What do you mean by that?" And then it gives them a moment to actually think about what they're saying in that moment and how it's affecting myself and also my daughter. And then they're like, "Oh, I didn't mean it that way. She's a beautiful girl." Well, say that. You know, don't bring attention to her skin complexion. She's a beautiful girl. Regardless if she's light skinned, she's dark skinned, she's a beautiful girl. So I just think not only, you know, it did take place in school. Again, she was very young. This was before kindergarten. So it was very hard to go to the teachers and say, you know, this is what's going on, and them not knowing how to handle the situation.
That got to be kind of hard.
Yeah. You know what gets me is that they still having the same problem, you know, like it was back in the 60s, 70s, you know.
Slavery.
Looking at you.
Slavery
yeah,
too.
You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, like at one time, you know, especially where I live at, if you would call somebody black, but then they was ready to fight.
Right.
Okay. You know, and I remember them days. And I remember James Brown, he was the one that actually started to move with I'm black and I'm proud.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And even till today, they still acting like that. Well, that's bad.
It really
That's
is, John. You know, I even think about the time when Beyonce was doing kept her little blue ivory with, sorry, baby. She wearing her hair natural. They talked about that kid like she was a grown woman. I couldn't believe the comments that they had put on there about that kid's hair and what she looked like. How was she gonna be ugly? She's growing to be a beautiful young lady. So that's what they get for making those kind of comments. But just coming hard, and I just, as adults, it comes to a point. When do you stop to think before you write? Because, you know, ratchetness is not always necessary. You know, it's time to encourage young people. Another young lady, she was heavy set, put on a prom dress. They talk about that baby so bad, I cried because I can believe that people would put that on her page the day she's going to her prom, which her self-esteem was intact because she replied back. But that still has to hurt. And I think we got to be accountable for hurting each other. We can't act like, and if it don't bother me, it's no big deal, because everybody's a different individual, and what may hurt and bother one may not bother another. But the fact that we don't even show decent humanity towards each other as a race, we cannot expect anybody else to respect us if we're not respecting ourselves. We're not even respecting our children.
Absolutely. And I think that social media does play a major part in it as well, because you could be anybody you want to be behind your phone or your computer screen. And I think but people do things for the likes and the comments. So, you know, a lot of times people gravitate towards the negative. So they want those likes. They want to be, you know, have 1 million followers on Instagram or so be it. But it's those negative comments that are getting them there. And like you said, we need to be mindful, and we need to uplift each other and encourage one another instead of making us feel shamed or, you know, beating us up with the words. Because you never know how a child is taking in comments that people are saying.
Absolutely.
Really touching their feelings, their self-esteem is low, their drive and their motivation is low, and just like you said before we went out air, it takes a village. It takes all of us to come together to encourage and motivate our kids to know that they are bigger than what people perceive them as.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember growing up, I used to wear glasses, and I got tired of people calling me Four Eyes. Four Eyes. Four Eyes. So my mother said, "As you went up to the glasses," I said, "I don't know. In Cleveland, we have we have furnaces where you can dump your trash. It's old school, and they go down like a little wall slot. Go down to the trash. Girl, I threw them glasses away. I said I'd rather be blind than be four eyes, because I was just over being four eyes. My mother whooped me though. Don't think I ain't getting no whooping. But man, I said I'd rather be blind, mama, than to be four eyes. My mother had to break it down to me, But I threw them glasses away.
Yeah, I want to ask a question. Okay, now, with just like Miss J with the glasses, and these kids, teasing other children about the color of their skin, or the way they wear their hair, or the way they dress, or whatever, stuff like that. Is that considered bullying or teasing?
It's considered bullying.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of different definitions of a bully, but the name call will classify you as a bully. And I think most of our kids don't understand that. But when you bring it to their attention, they just self-evaluate themselves, and they don't ever want to be looked at or called a bully. So that's when they tend to not name call each other, from my experience.
Yeah, they think they're teasing.
So name calling and stuff like that is classified as bullying, because I always thought bullying was the person shoving you around.
No, you could be verbally. Yeah.
Yeah, bullying. I'm gonna beat you up if you don't give me your lunch money.
Right. That's the old school bully.
That's what I thought bullying was. I didn't, with the other part, with teasing, I thought that was more like teasing a person.
Well, you know what?
But I'm glad I know that now.
But also, John, the difference with teasing is that when using your tease somebody, you're trying to make them laugh. You're not trying to hurt their feelings. And I think the difference is that when kids tease today, they tease with the intent to hurt, which makes it bullying. That's why, on social, like they do it on social media. Somebody may comment and they say, I'm not gonna say what kids say because some of that's bad. But anyway, they'll call my name or talk about their hair. That's an ugly picture. That's bullying. So it has changed because we have evolved as people. They're now bullying on the telephones. They're bullying on inside gang rooms. They're bullying online. They're bullying in school. They're bullying everywhere now. Now, the bullying you're talking about, like the old school bullying, you might take your little lunch money and stuff like that. But they have taken to such a level that people are getting beat up. People are committing suicide. It has escalated. So it's really a big deal now. It's really a big deal because the kids' suicide rate is ridiculous over bullying. And I'm not talking about big kids. You're talking about little kids, 9 and 10. Then you go up to the teenagers. But you got little babies thinking they better off dead than being alive. And when we're in that place, it is time for a change. It is time for parents to speak up when somebody say, well, your kid did X, Y, Z. Instead of defending your kid's behavior, listen, because your kid could be that bully. And I don't think no parent really wants to raise that kind of kid.
Right. Now, Jalynn, I wanted to ask you a question. If you want to answer it, that's fine. If you don't want to answer it, that's still fine. What type of bullying was the kids doing you at school?
They was name calling you. And it made me sad.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So, but how did you handle that?
I called my mom.
You that's the...
Told her mom and her teacher. Yeah. And that's a good point that she keeps making, is that no matter what they say, she already knows better. And that's something that we as parents, well, my kids are grown now, but I'm still a parent, but that parents need to tell their kids. I remember the first time somebody called my son the N-word, and he was all devastated. I said, well, are you one? And he said no. I said, so why your feelings hurt? If that's not who, you know,
That's
we,
kind of hard to
yes.
because being in the classroom with 10-year-olds, I had young girls who, the class as a whole, they will use the term, oh, I'm going to kill myself. Just so lightly, you know, it was just a part of their everyday vocabulary.
Yes.
Because of something that someone else said about them. And I mean, the name calling was, in my eyes, very silly. Oh, your mom is a cat. And they don't get upset, you know? And I'll say to them, well, it's not a cat. No. So why are you upset? You know, but they were not able to.
You couldn't separate it.
Ways to put them to understand it. Like, you know, they're not saying anything that's true. Why do you get upset by that? And they're like, well, they're talking about my mom. I'm like, well, your mom is a cat. That's why you're worried about it. So it's still kind of hard to understand, like, oh, they're talking about my mom. They're talking about my mom. Like, you know, if it's not true, don't even worry about it. But that is something very hard for our kids to understand and grab the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I do. I believe that as well.
I remember, you know, growing up myself, you know, people used to make fun, you know, of, but they was, you know, they'd make fun of my dad or make fun of me or make fun of my grandmother or whatever, you know what I'm saying? People, and to be honest with you, I was a male, but I'm a male. You understand? Whenever they talked about that, well, you know, like as a male, I'd be ready to fight. You know, I've gotten a few fights, you know, behind them saying something negative, which I don't recommend that. You know, I've learned through the years that, you know, and you know, and I used to go to my grandmother and tell her, you know, well, if these kids can do, you know, and so she would say, well, remember this, stick and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt.
Yeah.
You know, and so, and I kind of like adopted that term, you know, stick and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt. You know, that's the way I handle it, you know, because I mean, words can't hurt me. You know, now if you take a rock or something and hit me, that's the only thing that's going to hurt me. Right. So, you know, that kind of like helped me out, you know, but I guess everything, you know, goes a little different, you know, but for you, Jalynn, you know, what was, you know, because I know that hurted your feelings. So, by other than telling your mother and your teacher, what other source that you use to make yourself feel better? I can't hardly hear you.
Wait a minute. Just.
You hear me?
No, not that good.
How about now?
That's better, baby. Go ahead.
You can go up a little bit better?
Now?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you a little bit better.
Okay. I had started wearing t-shirts that had little black girls on.
Yes.
They got what?
I had started wearing t-shirts that had little black girls on.
Yeah, she has a clothing line.
And I had started to love myself more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a good idea because you put somebody on that looked just like you that you could relate to show that you were proud of who you were. And then by you doing that, that makes other girls be proud about who they are. So that was very courageous of you to take a stand like that at such a young age. So I applaud you for that. That's excellent.
Now, these kids that was teasing you, you know, and I don't want this to sound racial or anything like that, you know, but are they African Americans, whites, or Asian or what? Or was it a mix?
African American.
Yeah.
It was more African American.
And
Wow.
yeah, but that's not surprising because you can put a post on Facebook, and I watch this. They'll put the cutest little chocolate baby on there, unless she got funny color, different color eyes, like a blue or green eyes or something that make her different. She'll get a lot of likes. But you put a little cute little chocolate baby on there, and people will just go right past it. And so we are still in a slave mentality, like oh, Jalen's on here, but I can't say that. But so we got the house slave and the field slave still going on. The master baby and the regular slaves. That's as nice as I can put that. And so we still have that mentality when we're judging and looking at each other. I got nothing against wigs and weaves, so don't get mad at me. But a lot of people, they want that long hair because they say their hair can't grow or whatever they think, but they want it long. They don't want no fro. They don't, you know what I'm saying? So what we have allowed a decades and centuries of another race to dictate what beauty is to our race. And we have not gotten over that. We judge our beauty on what they say beauty is, not what we know what beauty should be. And that's really sad because so much of our identity has been taken away, and even how we view each other as individuals has also been tainted. And we got to change that because we have babies growing up that need a better way of growing up. And it does begin with the adults. Go ahead, Danielle.
I think nowadays you have a lot of women who are now accepting their natural kinks and curls, who are now going natural. So I think that whole natural move, that whole natural activity, helping those girls of color out as well. So we're learning to embrace our skin color, to not put the chemicals for our hair. We're talking about techniques on how we can break our hair type and do whatever beautiful no matter what.
Yeah.
That's right. And matter of fact, you're 100% right because I see more young girls now these days. They're wearing their natural hair and they got it looking good. And they got the hair looking real good, because I was, I'm from the Afro days, and I love to see, young ladies and young men wearing Afro. It brings it back, to my days.
Yeah, when they look really nice and tapered. Me too, John. I like an Afro. Especially when they nice and tapered. With them girl sisters rocking those big fros. And that looks so nice. Looks really nice.
Now, I want to know about the book. Okay, either Jalynn or Danielle, you can answer this question. What actually made you guys sit down and write the book? Beside, what was going on in schools. I know you had to write the book according to what was happening to you. But what persuaded you to write this book?
So,
what motivated you?
So the book idea was my idea. It just came to me one day. As I was working with Jalynn and she was coming over the insecurity that she had, I then realized that, this is happening to other people other than my daughter. There's so many young girls who have insecurities behind their skin complexion, their body size, their hair type, and I just thought that it would be great for the two of us to collaborate to write a book for young girls to love who they are despite the thought of others. When we first started writing this book, Jalynn was going into kindergarten, so my initial thought was to do a book for the kindergarten grade level. but because the message was so strong, it was very hard for me to stick with this the limited sight words that a kindergartner can read at the time. So we ventured off and to do a short, easy read chapter book. So that was the inspiration of writing the book.
Okay. So how is the book making a difference in the communities now? What you guys do? Y'all go and give talks, or what you do?
So locally here in Rochester, we had featured on all of our news channels. We've had interviews just talking about the book and also talking about where we're headed. So Jalynn has now this summer begun to do her motivational speaking, where she's going in front of crowds of adults and also children to encourage them to believe that they are beautiful from head to toe. That is her message, and also to encourage them to read as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it so far. Just book sales, encouraging people to believe that they're beautiful, and now we're starting to take off to another adventure of the post.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Absolutely great.
I like that.
Awesome for her.
Well, I wanted to let the audience know you're listening at Uplifting Communities Talk Show, and our special guest is author Jalynn Walters, and her mother, Danielle Walters. And you guys can press 1 if you guys want to say something to them or elaborate on something. Just press 1 and we'll let you in. Okay, go ahead, Miss J.
I was just thinking that the things that you've done for her it will really determine her future. I think a lot of people forget that broken people turn into broken adults. And if we do not do better by our children, we're going to create a generation of broken people. And broken people have really, I should say, have no opportunity, but it really stunts their growth as a community and as individuals. It affects how they have relationships, why they have particular types of relationship. It really has a big effect, and they are our future. So if we are past the point where we, as adults, sometimes we act like things don't bother us no more, we just blow it off. But they're babies. We got to at least be considerate of them and teach them better so that they can teach the next group better than we taught them, and continue that cycle of growth instead of that cycle of self-hate, low self-esteem. I watched that show For My Man, and it just blows me away, the things that young women do for love, because they've been teased not only by outsiders but by family members. They're broken, and they make such horrible choices based on that broken spirit. So that's why this show is really important, because as a mother, we got to do better, and as a woman, we got to do better. We can't just keep putting that out there like that and acting like it's okay. We've been doing it for all this time. Everybody else made it through it. They'd be fine. It doesn't make it right. And it doesn't. Yeah. Go ahead, Danielle.
With this whole concept, I can say that not only is Jalynn, has she gained so much confidence, but she is now in the community. She's giving young girls compliments like, "Oh, mommy, she has a cute shirt. Jalynn, tell her." And she's going to tell her, makes the little girl feel so awesome. And I just think that the whole book approach, it sounds, not necessarily that it sounds better, but it sounds believable now to children, because it's coming from someone their age or younger. Like we were talking about earlier, the parents were telling them, don't talk about people, or pick up the book and read, or make sure you brush your teeth twice a day. They're going to go in one ear and out the other. But coming from a different perspective, coming from a child, to me, it makes more of a difference to our youth now to buy into it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And they don't feel like they're alone.
Right.
Because I think, yeah.
Someone else that they know has gone through something that's similar to what they've gone through as well.
Yeah.
Now, Danielle, we have quite a few people listening in right now. Now, I'm quite sure that a lot of families or people that's listening, or when they listen to the show, they're gonna want to know, well, what is the, what you look for, you know, if your kid is getting bullied, they're not telling you that they're getting bullied at school. What is some of the stuff you want to look for?
Some of the things that you would need to look for as a parent is isolation. Isolation is very big. That's when something could be going on at school, but your child is dealing with it internally. And the way that they're showing it externally is by wanting to get away from everyone else. They rather play by themselves, sit by themselves. That's an opportunity for you as a parent to sit down with your child and ask those questions. Sometimes it's very hard to see because there was a young boy that went to the school that I went to. He committed suicide through some cyberbullying. And this is a child who we would have never known that anything was going on with him. So as parents, just take that a few minutes aside. Ask your kids, what's going on? How are you feeling today? Because they carry some feelings that, we may not ever know about unless we ask. So create that trusting relationship with your child to where they'll be open to you and to let you know what's going on with them. Ask how school is going. This conversation doesn't have to be formal. You don't have to be sitting down having dinner. It can be while you're driving in the car. It can happen anywhere. Just take a picture. How's it going?
And how old was that boy, Danielle?
I'm sorry, Jenna.
The age of the little boy?
In the 7th grade.
Wow. He has so much to look forward to. 13 years old.
Yeah.
So, and then you made a great point that it's not just girls, it's boys too, because a lot of times we think about bullying. A lot of people think about the girls because we seem to be more on the catty side, but the boys have the same issues, same problems, and I think sometimes for a guy, I think it may be even worse because boys supposed to be tough, so they're not allowed to show emotion. So then you got to teach him when it's okay to talk about it, when it's okay to cry. You're not a punk if you cry. Oh, sorry, Jalynn. If you cry or whatever, because we have created such stereotypes that even boys don't even know how to be boys.
Right. Something that I teach my students in the classroom, I could be in front of the classroom doing something, and something may happen behind my back that I don't know about, but now someone's fine. So, you can't stop the class every minute or so to, go through the issues that are happening in the classroom, and which I do. I'll stop everything. And we're going to talk about this and get down to the bottom of it. But I taught my students to write it down. Write down what's going on. Tell me your feelings. And they know that I'm going to read it and I'm going to write back to them. So there's been situations on a smaller scale where, to write back and just say, it's not true. Don't believe it. Keep on going. Whereas some of them are on a much larger scale, and now I need to bring in leadership from my school to help me solve the issue that these students are having. But again, just creating that free space, that trusting space, even as a teacher, as a parent, to have some type of routine where you can get into the thoughts of your child or your student to better understand them so you know how to guide them going forward.
And that's really key.
Right.
That's really key. Because I think kids will write it down easier sometimes it is to say it for them. I don't know, and I'm like, well, why did you just say that? And they go, nah. But for some reason, right. And I think sometimes, even for me as an adult, if it's something serious, I have to write it out first before I can say it, So I can kind of relate to that. But the fact that you're giving them an outlet, and that's what's important, whether it be a teacher or the parent, like you said, we could just be driving a car. So, girl, how's school going? Or, boy, how's the football team? Your coach cool? You don't have to. Sometimes parents want to have, well, I'd like to know how your day is going. Well, no. They want to have that kind of conversation. But we got to get loose. And we got to remember that we were kids too. and we have to communicate with them on their level. You know,
and don't always go into the conversation with thinking that you're going to find something out.
Right.
You know, you just open up that gate. Like I said, know that it's an open, free space. So if I say, hey, how's your day today, Jalynn? She's just going to go for it. Like, oh, yeah, today, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Just talking. And I may hear something that may strike my attention, but she won't know that. But just to know that my child is comfortable enough to share her thoughts or, you know, her day with me, it's awesome.
Yes. Yes.
Now, another thing that I see you do, Danielle, is, you know, you kind of like help the kids build positive self-esteem. Okay, how you go about doing that?
Trying to think what's one good way to say that I do it. So in the classroom, I love to have fun. So I tell them at the beginning of the school year, the kids are like, "Oh, I don't like her. She's too mean." Blah blah blah. But it doesn't bother me because they know that I'm their mother in the classroom. I love you all. I may be rough on you because I want the absolute best from you. So when we go into the classroom in the beginning of the day and the end of the day, I greet each child. I tell them something positive about themselves. It may be something like, oh, I like your shirt. You have a cute hairstyle. Just something to keep them encouraged, motivated, just knowing that they are accepted in this classroom no matter what. And I learned that it now trickles down from me into them. So as we're focused in our academics, someone gets the right answer, they're saying, good job, so-and-so. If they get the wrong answer, oh, it's okay, try again. So I'm creating that positive learning environment.
Yes.
It's starting from me, and it's now going down into them. And it's awesome to see. I love it.
Yeah, that's got to make you feel good, man. Yeah.
Yes. That's a very good way to do it. You know, I mean, very seldom, you know, you're going to walk into a classroom or a building and somebody going to say, oh, I like that shirt you got on. You know, and that makes a person feel pretty good about themselves. You know, they got on a nice blue shirt. You know? And yeah, I can see that's definitely an excellent way to build their positive, to make them feel positive about themselves. You know, so that is really good. I love it. I love it.
And you know what? That's what's really great about that, Danielle. I think about the kids that don't get it at home, but they can, when they get it, but they'll get it in your class. You know what I mean? So that right there is life changing, because you don't know when somebody's on that edge and you say, you know what, you are so beautiful today, and they just look at you like, how did you know I need to hear that? You know what I mean? Like, so it really is. It's going to also extend outside of your class, because it's going to become part of who they are. So other teachers are going to see it. Other kids are going to experience it. So it doesn't just like limit it to your classroom. If you think about it, once it's embedded in their spirit, it's going to go beyond that. And that's great.
Right. And that's hope. Right. That's what you hope to happen. And you most definitely know that it will happen. Just creating that positive classroom environment for all the kids.
That's awesome.
And you know, I want to piggyback on what Miss J just said. There's so many kids not getting that, you know, positive feedback from home. And the reason, I mean, I can understand the reason, I mean, because, you know, I would say, you know, quite a few homes, maybe every, you know, out of 10 homes, probably 3 of them out of 10 is probably have, you know, either a single parent, or if it's a male in the house, you understand, the male is not their daddy, you know, and a lot of times what happens is that the mom is taking care of the child. She's out there trying to make ends meet, trying to send the child to school, and she just overwhelmed, you know, and when she get home, she got to cook, give them the bath,
that's right,
make sure they eat,
homework check.
You know, it's a lot of work. And you know, and sometimes it might skip over, you understand, saying, "Oh, you really did a good job today," or I know it's very important for a male and a female to find that time, but sometimes we just can't find that time in a day, or we forget.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, how about set up a date night?
I applaud you.
For the beer. You're welcome. For the busy parents, though, it would be good to set up a date. Like us on Saturday, this is our date day. This day when you hang out is a girl day or a son and mother day. Because I was a single parent with 2 kids, and so I did stuff like that. I did things with them together, but I also did things with them separately. I would set a date because during the week, by the time I got back from Orange County back to the IE, I've been on the freeway for 3 hours. So then I got a homework check. Got to make sure everybody get a bag, get your stuff out for tomorrow, making lunches. So it does get complicated like that. But as we schedule in other things, schedule your kids in. Just schedule in for a fun day. And then use that fun day, just to check up on, make sure everything is going okay. Because as John stated, during the week it can get complicated. But maybe on Saturday, we go to Chuck E. Cheese or whatever y'all like to do and just talk.
So that you have to be grateful. As parents, we get very busy with so many things that are going on with sports and school and work and you name it. Even if you don't want to take the time out to add something extra to your schedule, as far as like a Chuck E. Cheese or a play date, you can think of things that are so simple that take no time. Like for an example, me and Jalynn will pull into the driveway at home and we'll race to the door. Who gets there first? So that's that time between us where it's playful, it's fun, and it teaches her that you can be competitive, but it's still fun. So when she loses, she doesn't get upset, that sort of thing. So there's some time I took away to have fun with my child.
Yep.
That I didn't have to schedule. It didn't take me off of my routine. I just went with it. I was very flexible with it, and it worked. You can do that with your daily routine. Set a timer. Jalynn takes her lunch to school every day. She can start making her own lunch. Jalynn, how long do you think it's going to take you to do your lunch, to make your lunch? 5 minutes? Okay, I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes. Let's see if you can beat the timer. Make it fun. So that's extra time that you're spending with your child, and it's fun. Just something that just blow out here that we do.
Yeah, even going to the park, that's free.
Right. That's right. We have 2 minutes left on the show. I know if the conversation is getting really good, but we only got 2 minutes, and I'm going to ask Miss J to start closing this out.
Well, absolutely. I think we learned some really important things and made some tips for parents and kids. So I really appreciate, Danielle, you and Jalynn coming on the show. Jalynn started off the show with something positive. I'm going to let you end it. If you had something positive to say to the parents and the kids out there, or about bullying and so forth, what would that be?
If you're being bullied, make sure don't never believe what they say.
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely. And Mom, what do you have to say?
I'll pick it back off of Jalynn. Never believe anything negative that anyone has to say about you. Kids, uplift one another. Say something positive to your friends or your family members. Parents, take some time out of your day to see how your kids are doing in school, the interactions with their friends, just to build a positive relationship and also to redirect any negative thoughts that they may be having.
Absolutely. Mr. John L. Brown?
Yes, I want to thank Jalynn and her mother, Danielle, for coming on the show. And even I learned a lot on this show right here. I didn't really understand what bullying was all about, but now I know the complete meaning, So, y'all keep the good work up. And Jalynn, I'm proud of you. You keep the good work up and keep writing, okay? Keep writing. And back to you, Ms. J.
Again, that he said exactly right, John. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us this evening. We really appreciate you always showing up and being here with us. Danielle and Jalynn, thank you so very much. It was our pleasure. And Danielle, piggybacking on John, I'm very proud of you as well. So I wish you and your mother both continued success because you guys are killing it. So until next week, peace and blessings, and thank everybody for joining us. Good night.